Lord forgive me for this trap shit. Sergeant Smack making backflip. Telly Hank with the action. With the vital speaking Spanish. Frank Matthews, how I vanish. Poof. Came back like I'm King Tut. Gold BBS is on a beamer. When Fat Cat was 10 queens up. Ball off the profit, not the re-up. Fly like Puerto Rican Jesus. Uptown like I'm Baby May. Just caught a touchdown from the Bay.
We're putting together investigations that are phenomenal. And once we get them now, it's going to be able to stick because every agency is working together.
Certainly the levels of safety that we saw during the last 10 years are now being reversed. And it's a serious moment. No one should undermine how serious this is.
There were 485 murders in New York City in 2021, the highest total in 10 years. There were more than 1,500 shootings, the highest in 15 years, and double the number just 2 years ago. And underground, major felonies are surging. Bronx DA Darcel Clark.
It's not just the law. You know, it's people thinking that they can get away with whatever they want. That's where we are now, which is, you know, really scary, just a total disrespect for humanity.
The age at which somebody first picks up a gun is getting younger and younger and younger. We now have 12 and 13-year-olds picking up guns and carrying them. We really better focus on that.
Aborn believes Mayor Adams understands the crisis, but needs to act quickly.
I think he has a very short window to put a cap on the rise of crime. I think it will come down, but it's going to come down gradually.
Aborn is convinced that targeted anti-gun patrols can be done legally and that federal agents have a role to play.
We need to set up true interstate strike forces to go after the illegal guns coming up what we call the iron pipeline from Pennsylvania, the Carolinas, Texas, Alabama, and Georgia, and Virginia. The feds could help us do that tomorrow morning.
Darcel Clark is convinced that coordinated investigations will
now
help
to a
turn
gruesome
the tide.
discovery this week in the Bronx. 2 people found murdered in a torched car.
As CBS 2's Andrea Grimes reports, police sources say one of those victims was an innocent young man unknowingly swept up in a series of gang-related attacks.
Police sources believe he was in the wrong place at the wrong time. Former college basketball player, 22-year-old Jesse Perea, found murdered with his friend Nikki Huang in this burned-out car in the Bronx early Monday morning. Sources say both had been shot and the car was set on fire. Huang's family owns Huang Kitchen on the Lower East Side, where customers have been stopping to pay their respects at a growing memorial.
I was like in shock. I feel so bad for the parents, you know, because now they suffer.
She was just this great kid that worked there with her folks.
Police sources say Huang had no criminal record, but allege she did have an affiliation with a gang. They say she was robbed last Sunday and told some of her gang member friends. Police sources believe that robbery set off a chain reaction of tit-for-tat gang-related violence. A deadly shooting in Alphabet City, followed by 2 people shot on Pike Street on the Lower East Side. Then another shooting in Queens. And finally, Perea and Huang. Police suspect they were kidnapped, then murdered. Their bodies left in the burning car. Sources say Perea of the Lower East Side has a clean record and had nothing to do with any of this.
It's too early and insane. The city's getting a little too loose.
So far, no arrests have been made. On the Lower East Side, Andrea Grimes, CBS 2 News.
Yo, we back. It's your boy Popalot. Mobb. We on our way to NYC with it. Headshot City. Y'all meet us in LES, Lower East Side. Shit is going down around this bitch. So today we are going to be covering a female by the name of Nikki Huang. I took it upon myself to name her the reason because a robbery that she was the victim in would result in the death of not only her, but a close friend as well as somebody else. So I'm trying my best to give y'all the rundown and break down everything that's going on. So According to reports, Nikki Huang was allegedly involved in an ongoing feud between two opposite Lower East Side gangs, one being the Down the Hill gang, the other one being the Up the Hill gang. Now, according to media reports, they're going to say that this rivalry stems from an ongoing turf war that the two gangs are going through. Now, this rivalry would escalate on Sunday, May 15th, 2022, when Nikki Huang, who they would label as an associate, they wouldn't say that she was a gang member, but when she was reportedly robbed of her purse, which contained cash, credit cards, and that robbery was allegedly perpetrated by a Down the Hill gang member outside of a Lower East Side housing complex. Now, according to all media sources, instead of reporting said robbery to the police, Nikki Huang would go on to tell members of the Up the Hill gang that she was associated with about the robbery. And with that, it would be followed by a quick series of retaliatory shootings. Now, later that same day, around 11 p.m., a guy by the name of Brandon Atkinson, who was 39 years old at the time, was fatally shot in the head while he stood on the corner of East 3rd Street and Avenue D. Now, the New York Post would go on to describe the victim as a reputed member of the Down the Hill gang, though they added it wasn't sure if he was the purse thief or not. Then 2 hours later, following that shooting, two Up the Hill gang members were shot and wounded on Pike Street in the Two Bridges area. So in just the span of 24 hours, we have Nikki Huang being robbed. Then we have Brandon Atkinson being almost executed, as well as two unnamed Up the Hill gang members shot and wounded. But that wouldn't even be the most tragic set of circumstances. The very next day, Monday, May 16th, 2022, a gentleman by the name of Jesse Perelia, who was 22 at the time, was giving Nikki Huang a ride home in his mother's car. However, the two friends somehow wound up being kidnapped by the Down the Hill gang members. Now, according to reports I read, while kidnapped, Nikki Huang was forced to call a member of the Up the Hill gang who had resided in Queens to try to get him to pop out, in a sense. Now, not sure if he followed any orders by Huang, but he would end up taking out his garbage and he would end up being shot in the face. Now, it wouldn't be long after that before Jesse Perelia and Nikki Huang would be driven to the Bronx, where they would be executed and the car that they were in was set ablaze. So pretty much in the span of a New York weekend, we have 3 murder victims, a robbery, 2 shootings that wound 3 people. That forced me to ask myself, is New York as crazy as it's ever been? And I was there in 1990 when there was 2,262 murders. And I want to say it was somewhere close to there in 91 and 92. Definitely probably in 92. I remember 92 standing out as one of the most vicious years. But I also remember a time right before I started to leave New York in 1998 where there were only 629 murders. Then I look back to a year like 2001 where there were only 649 murders. So that got me asking, what's really going on in New York? It looks like a lot of the crimes are happening or being perpetrated by younger people. I want to say we call them Generation Z. I remember when I was coming up, they would call us Generation X. I'm not even sure which generation we are on now, but this generation is turned to the max. And this story just goes to show you how something like a robbery can spiral out of control and end up with 3 people dead, 3 people wounded in less than 2 days, because Nikki Huang was robbed on the 15th and she was kidnapped on the 16th. So this is just a wild, wild story. If y'all on the Lower East Side, I definitely need y'all to get in the comment box. Let the people know if y'all feeling the effects of this war, what it's like in the city. Y'all know what it is with me. It's your boy Popalot. Y'all make sure y'all follow me on Instagram, on Twitter, POP_A_LOT. Y'all get in the comment box below and let me know what cities we haven't been to, what gangsters we haven't covered, what stories we missed, what we got wrong, all of that. And y'all get at me however y'all see fit. Y'all call me, text me, tweet me, mention me, tag me, CC me, email me, stop me in the street, however y'all want to do it, man. Y'all know what it is with me. It's your boy Popalot. Mobb, Mobb, Mobb.